Hello, Division 4. Okay, this is page 224, which I think we're going to do on the same day just to keep things going. What we did just a minute ago, or just on the other sheet, of saying, like, what's the biggest number that can fit in? Now we're going to go to the next level, right? Now, if you look here, they've got all those fancy things, and some of you already recognize this, but those who are still new to this, don't be overwhelmed by this. This is going to make a lot of sense very shortly, and you're all going to be pro at this in no time at all. Remainder just means what's left over, right? And like yesterday, we were saying that if 2 goes into 13, we said it went 6 times, and 6 times 12, and there was 13 we wanted, and of course 13 and 12, the difference is 1. The 1 is the remainder, so to speak. So how that all makes sense is here now. Now there's going to be 3 things you're going to be doing. You're going to divide, you're going to multiply, and then you're going to subtract. Which we're going to add more to it later later in lessons. But right now, you just have the division, the multiplication, and the subtraction. Now, what you want to do, and the first thing is, and once you get into this algorithm, which means that you just basically follow this pattern, there's no question you won't be able to do, and it's just a matter of going through this process until there's nothing left. And so they're going to start us off really nice and slow here. So when we get to a larger number, it'll just fall right into place. For example, the first thing you're going to do is divide. So you're asking yourself, how many times, this is what we did yesterday, or the other sheet. How many times does 3 fit into 11 without going over? Well, I know 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 is too big. So it is 3 times. Yeah, that's the division. I've actually just divided there. I went 3 goes into 11 3 times without going over. My next thing is going to multiply. And what you multiply are those 2 numbers. Okay, you're going to multiply the 3 times this 3. And of course, that 3 times 3 gives you the 9. And then what you're going to do, that last thing, is you're going to subtract. And 11 minus 9 is 2. And this is what you want to get into the habit of remainder 2. Now, you're going to see lots of different variations. Some people use a small r, and some people use a capital R. I prefer the capital R just because if myself, I'm a little messy sometimes, and my R might look like a 1 if I'm a little bit rushed, or it might look like a different character, where at least my capital R looks like an R for remainder. And that's what they've used here too. But of course, you are allowed to use a small r. You use what you feel that it works best for you. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm asking myself, how many times does 4 go into 35 without going over? Knowing my times tables of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 20, going all the way up, 32, 36. 36 is too big. So my 4 times 9 is 36. It's too big. So it has to be 8 because I know my times tables. 8 times 4 gives me 32. So there's my division. Done. It's almost like a checklist. Done. Now I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply 8 times 4. Okay, and this is something that's always going to happen like that. So you always follow this it's almost like a cycle, right? So 8 times 4 gives you 32. And my last thing was the S, which stands for, that's right, subtraction. And 35 minus 2 gives you 3. And then you can figure that out from remainder 3. Now, if you wanted to ever check, that's what's great thing about math. Those people who love math, you can check your work. But the thing is, so if I know that 8 times 4 is 32 and there's 3 left over, so 8 times 4 is 32, add 3, 35. So you can almost know your answer by checking it, or knowing if you got it correct by going backwards. Just like we know that 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5, right? It's a backwards forwards thing. It's a great way of checking. Okay, let's go down here. And what they've done is the same thing, but they've taken away kind of the steps, but you can definitely use that. So I'm going to put this up here. Division, multiply, subtraction. So I'm going to divide. 4 goes into 22. I know that 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24 is too big, so I know it's 4 times 5. I put it over this 2, right? Because 4 goes into 22 5 times without going over, because in my head, I know it's 20. And then the M is to multiply. You don't have to do the arrow. I'm just doing that just to show that's where I'm doing the multiplication. 5 times 4 gives me 20. And that, of course, that S stands for subtraction. 22 minus 20 is 2. Remainder 2. Okay, let's do one more together. 4 into 14. And you might be thinking, like, this is it. This is where it all begins to do the long division. And once you get this, you'll be going in no time. So 4 into 14, we know that 4 can go into that 12. So it'd be 3 times. That is my division. Now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. There's my multiplication. And my subtraction. 2, remainder 2. I'm going to check my work on this one. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 gives me 14. I'm good. Now, on the bottom part here, they're just now adding the word problem, which I know a lot of you love doing. Mrs. Peters has $30. How many children can she treat a movie to that costs $4? How much is left over? So your question, of course, is she's got $30. How many times does $4 go into 30? So over here, somewhere over here, I guess you could go. So you're going to ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 30? And then you'll go ahead and find out how many people she can take, or how many children she can treat, and how much money she'll have left over. And you can work on those too as well. All right. Until next time, Division 4.